All right, my friends, we are doing a first. I'm going to be moving back and forth when I start and end this recording because I am using my new camera, which is very exciting. So hopefully I'm nice and crisp and clear. It's going to be like high def, basically. So yeah, hopefully it's okay. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I've tested the volume on this and it seems to be pretty robust. I am using an external microphone. So hopefully you don't hear the autofocus, because unfortunately when I used the camera alone, that volume did autofocus. So it's very exciting. All kinds of good stuff going on now. All right, so the things I wanted to talk about today, we'll do shop update first. Of course, we gotta do shop update first. So talk about my Dorset horn again. So Dorset horn, I am still going away on it. I'm sorry it takes me a while, but it takes me a good half hour to do a bat, and it has just been really difficult. And I only really work on my Multifarious Nature end of things when it comes to like production work, so like creating bats and dyeing yarn. I do all that on Fridays, so and my Fridays are few and far between, it feels like. So sorry about that. It's a little delayed. Definitely make sure you're subscribed to the newsletter if you want to be the first to find out about the sales of new merchandise. So like when I have shop updates, I can talk, shop updates, that you'll be the first to find out if you're subscribed to the newsletter. And you can always follow me on Instagram as well. But if you want to get discount codes, or again, be the first to find out about shop updates, definitely make sure you're a newsletter subscriber. And you can do that at multifariousnature.com. There is a subscribe. It should pop up as a pop-up, but if it doesn't, if you go to the newsletter, it's going to be on the menu, and you can select that and subscribe to the newsletter, which I would love for you to do. I do not send out many, so don't worry, you're not going to be spammed. But this is the Dorset horn. So as I mentioned before, I am currently working on it. So this is kind of a teaser. They're not in the shop yet, but oh, it's so pretty. So these bats are over 100 grams. They're technically 100 grams. However, when you weigh them, they're actually more than that, because I kind of want to account for the fact that depending on the type of spinner you are, there is also just a touch of veggie matter in this still, because there was quite a, well, this one didn't have a lot of veggie matter in it compared to other fleeces that I've worked with. This one I did purchase. This was a fleece I did purchase. So yeah, I do know what breed this is. This is Dorset horn, and it's super, super soft. So I'm going to put it up like this, so hopefully you can see. It should focus. That's the cool part about this camera. It should focus, and hopefully you can see all that squishy goodness. It's just wonderful. So very exciting. Coming to the shop in the near future. Whew. So I don't know about you guys. I totally forgot to bring a beverage in here, so hopefully I don't start hacking or what have you. It took me forever to figure out how to work this camera, so this is just, it's a whole learning experience. It really is. Anyway, bear with me. We will get into what I'm working on first, my works in progress, and then I will show some acquisitions that I kind of alluded to on Instagram recently. So stick around to the end if you want to see that. It's a little bit more hand spinning end of things, which is fun. However, that individual does deal with hand-dyed yarn as well, so always fun to stick around. All right. As far as works in progress, you guys are going to be like, I did not finish the sleeve. I literally am binding off, you guys. I literally am binding off, and I didn't work on this at all this past weekend. And I'm a little frustrated that I didn't, because I really wanted to finish it. So this is Andrea Mowry's, oh, good grief. The Framed Sweater by Andrea Mowry. I literally have to just bind this off. And I kid you not, I am probably like 7 stitches from binding this off. Like that's how ridiculous it is that I have not bound that off. Anyway, that was just me kind of giving myself a little bit of a rant. But anyway, the only project I really worked on other than the mystery test knit that I'm working on, which I'm really excited to show you guys. I am almost done with the body of it. And all I can tell you is it's a sweater. But I can't tell you who it's for. I can't tell you really any of the specifics about it. But it's a sweater. It's really pretty. And I am using a cashmere. I think it's a cashmere blend. I don't think it's 100% cashmere. But it's really beautiful. And it's old mill yarn. Like coned yarn that I got my hands on when I went there 2 years ago? Yeah, 2 years ago. Anyway, half and half triangles wrap. That's really what I've been working on. And I did make some progress. This is actually 2 weeks worth of progress because I did not record last week. So you saw me last week, but that was a pre-recorded video. So as you can see, we went from the blue clay. I am now doing more of that Winter is Coming colorway, which is one of my Multifarious Nature colorways. I love it. So I'm working on that and just cruising. I actually finished my row so that I can show you guys not mid-row. Isn't that nice? It's a rare occurrence. I know it's a rare occurrence for many of us that to get to the end of a row when you're going to record or take a photo of it, it seems to be super rare occasion. But I love this color so much. So I'm working with all the blues and blue greens and stuff right now. And this is all I have left. Oh, it came all undone. In my car, it fell out of my bag and it was rolling around my car. But this is all I have left in my Winter is Coming colorway that I am going to be switching to a different color after that. And I am pretty sure I think I'm going to do this one next, actually. I initially was going to do a different one, but I think I'm going to do this one next. So this is Balsam Fir, which is another Multifarious Nature colorway. I hope this is focusing because I'm blocking my eyes. I found out that if you block your eyes, the camera will focus on this, which is super exciting. Yeah, it's really beautiful. It's a super dark green and it has some deep navy undertones in areas. It reads as a tonal in a sense, but it's technically kind of variegated, sort of. I love it. I just love dyeing colors that are super fun, and I've loved that one forever. I used this in a shawl, and this was leftovers, so I'm going to use that in this shawl, actually, but I'm going to use it as a blanket. So that is that. Next, we are going to talk about something I've been working on. So spinning. I have been spinning quite a bit this week. And by quite a bit, I mean for maybe 15, like 20, I'd say 30 minutes to a half hour each day, which is a decent amount of time. I will acknowledge that. But super exciting news. I finished my Melly Knits Advent. My True North Advent spin is complete. I really hope that my microphone's still on. I'm so paranoid, you guys. You guys that have been with me for a while understand. I have had the hardest time, and I so appreciate everybody that says, hey, Sarah, by the way, we can't hear you. I so appreciate that because honestly, I really don't listen to my videos back because I do not edit them, and so I don't ever listen to them. And so I've been trying here and there to try to listen to them just to see if I've got volume. Usually I'll do a test record, but for some reason that microphone with my laptop, I was having so many problems where one video would record with sound, and then if I recorded another video right after that, the microphone was still on, but for some reason it didn't record the sound. So I hope that we don't run into that right now with this. I really hope that we don't. But that'll be a learning curve. It really will. But I'm going to show you guys. This is my entire Melly Knits True North Advent. Super excited. It took me a while to make this. I started it in December because that's when I opened it, was in December. And I worked on it the best I could and took my time and enjoyed every minute of it. And I have to tell you guys, I'm a knitter, so I'm going to knit with this. But the spinning advent versus a hand-dyed yarn advent, I actually enjoyed this a little bit more because I'm going to not only get the joy of spinning this, but I also get the joy of knitting with it. So it really, and it was amazing. So if I am fortunate enough, I don't know, based on like budget and everything this year, it's kind of probably going to be a little tricky, but if I can have another advent this year for Christmas, I really hope I can snag one, because when I say snag, I purchased this advent and within a minute or two of me buying this, she sold out. So I don't know if I'll be fortunate enough to purchase one of her advents this year, but I really hope I do, because it was the most fun I've had with an advent, and it lasted the longest. I mean, I just finished it, and we are now pretty much at the end almost of April, so all the way from December. That's months worth of enjoyment, so it's really beautiful. Hopefully you can see all these wonderful colors. They're all breeds out of Canada. A lot of them are cross breeds, and then they're all blended with alpaca. They're super beautiful. The last colorway was a Kiviot instead of alpaca, and it's so stinking soft. I'll show it to you here. It's this one. So this is Kiviot. Hopefully I'm blocking my eyes. It's super beautiful. So Kiviot is the musk ox. I'm saying that right. It's the like down wool from the musk ox, and they pull out the guard hairs by hand. So it's a really involved process, which is why it's very expensive. Many times if you buy Kiviot yarn, it can cost, oh gosh, it's really expensive for a small amount. So I feel very fortunate to have gotten my hands on that, and I'm just really excited to work with this yarn. I have to do the math because I did not add up my yardage yet. I have my yardage on each one, but I didn't add it up. So once I add it up, that will help me decide what I'm going to make with it. I think it's going to be an accessory, but when I look at this, that's a significant amount of yarn. And if it's about, I think she said it's about 25 grams each or 20 grams each. Yeah, I think I think we might have a decent amount of yarn. So I might be able to do a shawl. Initially, I really wanted to do a cowl, but I think I'm going to do a shawl because I really want to use every ounce of it if I can. That would be my goal. So that is what I was working on. This past week, I finished that up. It was really exciting. Really only did one this past week, but I actually got to finally, those are all washed and set. So the twist is set. So I literally can just wind those up and start knitting right now if I wanted to, which is so exciting. I'm really excited about that. And then this actually, I don't know what happened to me. I kind of just, I went a little rogue. So I decided I wanted to try double drive. So I have a castle style wheel. It's a ladybug, shock blade bug, and it's I love that wheel. I love it. It's set up in Scotch tension is I think how the default setting, or at least that's how the vendor that I purchased it from, that's how they set it up. And she did mention that it comes with a double drive band. It can be set up in double drive, but I'd have to do that myself, and that's totally fine. So it's been years, and I haven't set it in double drive. I finally set it up in double drive, and that's a learning curve. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I don't quite understand how to use it, which is probably the thing because it's my first time doing it. But I had this Romney blend. I think it's 100% Romney from Michigan Fiber Festival. I cannot remember the vendor that I got it from. Unfortunately, that vendor is retiring. That was her last year, so I won't be able to get more. But I got a great deal because she was retiring. And I just decided I was going to go for it and start spinning it. And I figured if I did double drive, long draw, it's supposed to be really good for long draw style. And it's supposed to help you not get like super heavily twisted yarn. Anyway, yeah, I was struggling. So when I say not heavily twisted, it was super under twisted. Like it was coming apart. I got it on the bobbin, but then it was coming apart, and I'm like, okay, that's not going to work. So I changed the whirl setting for the double drive, and then it went way too too extreme, and it was over twisting it. So this is a tiny little sample that I made of it. I'm going to try to block my face so hopefully you can see it. But it's kind of ropey. It's not great. But that was a good test. So safe to say, I immediately took the double drive band off, switched it back to Scotch tension, which I really like. I've gotten used to it, and I just should stick with it. So I switched it back to Scotch tension, and I had, this is really funny. Okay, so I made myself, I showed you this a while back. I made myself a Shetland sheep vegan rug where it was a Shetland sheep fleece that I turned into a rug by felting it on the back. I put, not felting it, I felted wool to the back of it, and then it creates a rug, and it works really great. There are just areas that did not get felted very well, and those areas kind of fell off. And there were a few bits that didn't get felted in the process, and so those, of course, fell off as well. So what I did is I collected those bits, and I carded them with my hand carders, and I spun them up. Because apparently that's what I was going to do the other day, and I went nuts, and I did it within 2 days, and I didn't even weigh this yet, but it's actually a significant amount, and this was just from waste that I had collected. So I think it turned out pretty good. It's slightly over twisted, but only slightly. It's light enough that I think that once it's, because this has not been washed yet, or I mean, it's been washed, but it hasn't been soaked yet since being spun. So I haven't set the twist. But once I set the twist, I think that we're going to distribute that really well, because as you can see right here, this looks very balanced when it's undone here. So it's a moret. This is considered a moret, so they're brown, but what you can't see very well is it's slightly twisted at the bottom, which means it is slightly over twisted. But not bad. It's not bad. Pretty balanced. And I'm getting a lot better at consistency, which is awesome. All things considered, like this, some of this stuff was booty wool, you know, like the not super soft wool and things like that. And I think it's turned out pretty decent. So it's not rope-like, which is good. And I think it's going to be really good for, I mean, it was waste wool. So I could do anything with this. I feel like this would make excellent heels and toes for socks. And I have some wool that I got from Michigan Fiber Festival last year. It's a beautiful gray Shetland. And I think this would be pretty as the heels and toes. It'd be a really nice contrast. And it's also Shetland. So that was kind of a fun little project. Random project that I did. But anyway, now we'll get into the acquisition end of things, which does have to do with spinning. So hopefully you're in it for it. I went to the Alpaca Festival, I think it was 2 weeks ago now. And it's in Allegan, Michigan. They hold it at the Allegan County Fairgrounds. So it's the same place that they do the Michigan Fiber Festival. So if you've been to Michigan Fiber Festival, it's that same location. I've never been to Alpaca Fest. It's a lot smaller, but it was really nice. So I hope more people come out. But it was a nice balance where there was a decent amount of people, but it wasn't overwhelming, especially since the animals are all it's in the expo building. So if you're familiar with it, it's the really big building that lots of vendors are in, usually during Michigan Fiber Festival. It's the building kind of at the back. And they actually had all of the alpacas in the building. So they had them in the building, and then they also had booths set up. So vendors, I mean, there was a nice variety of vendors, I have to say, but just a smattering. It was very small. And I realized how small it was because every time I go to Michigan Fiber Festival, I have like that place gets packed. To find a parking spot is tricky. So I thought to myself, like, okay, we're late. Like we didn't go right away in the morning, which is not a big deal. But I thought we're gonna be parking like way out, which means we have to walk quite a bit. And turns out we did not have to walk quite a bit. We were able to park inside the fairgrounds, which is a rarity, and like really close to the expo building. So that was amazing. And that definitely kind of helped us gauge how it's going to be when we go inside. And it was really nice. They had some food trucks, a nice variety. You had your sweets, your goodies. They had something I did not try. I thought about it, but then I didn't end up doing it. I think they're called freeze-dried candy, which is really interesting. They had a little booth for that. And then they had a food truck that was more like your burgers, and they had a really delicious fried fish sandwich. That's what I ended up getting for my lunch, and fries, and it was so good. But they also had like elephant ears. It was really fun. And then when you go inside, they had some booths that were finished items, so like your socks and sweaters, things like that. Um, Kind of that kind of variety. And then they had like little stuffed animals that were made out of alpaca, fluff. And then they also had other vendors that I've seen at Michigan Fiber Festival. I'm trying to think of a couple of them off the top of my head. Oh goodness! And she's out of Allegan. She has a farm, and do not know why I can't think of the name of it. That's silly. Anyway, but she has a variety of wool products. I know she has CVM sheep. So that's California variegated mutant, but she also has other breeds of sheep as well. And she had a few of their fleeces, the raw fleeces, which is super fun. They're beautiful. I really wanted to buy one, but I didn't. I withheld from buying that. But I did buy some roving that was dyed up by another seller that I have seen. I do recall her from Michigan Fiber Festival. Now that I think back, I'm like, I do remember seeing her booth before, and she has beautiful, beautiful hand-dyed roving. So I did actually splurge, and I did pick up a couple little roving items from her. And there were not a lot of like hand-dyed, and there was a little bit. There was a little bit. But if you're looking more for hand-dyed items and such, I mean, it would still be worth going. It's free, so that's the nice thing. It's only $5 to get into Michigan Fiber Festival for one day, but if you want to go to this as well, if you're in the area, it's free. So they take donations, of course, but it's free. And I did meet the owner behind this, and she was so incredibly sweet. But it's Hens and Chicks, and she's out of Michigan as well. And I'll just show you guys these absolutely beautiful braids. They're all different kind of ounces, thereabouts, like 3 point something or 4 point something. And they're just beautiful. So this one's a BFL. I think this is 100% BFL. Some are blends, but this one's 100%. And it's so pretty. I love purples. So many deep variations of purple. We have some reddish purple, some blue purple, and like the mauvey purple. It's just gorgeous. And of course, this BFL is a base, which BFL is gray, varying depths of gray. And then the next one here is a blend of 70% BFL and 30% Tussa silk. So pretty. There you go. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? And this one is 4.4 ounces. So we've got some reds in there, a little bit of orange, deep purple and blue. I really want to spin this up next. I'm trying to figure out what I want to spin next. And I think this would be super fun. I love it. It's gorgeous. And it's so soft. And so this is probably, it's definitely BFL, but it's probably like a lighter bit of gray in that BFL blend. That's my guess. It's a guess. And then we have 100% BFL again. And this is 4.3 ounces. It's so pretty. Okay, let me see if I can spin this up. This one definitely feels a little bit more Christmassy, like holiday oriented or fall. Fall and Christmas is definitely what I get from this. So I'm really excited. I'd love to do something that's more holiday oriented with this. I think if I am able to spin this up and I have enough, like I have no idea, but if I have enough, I would really like to make a sweater that has a color work portion that I can do like almost a gradient with this. I think that would be so pretty. So what I'm probably going to do for all of these, I say all of these, probably not all of these. Definitely for this one, I want to do a 2-ply because I feel like that I will get the most use out of, and I definitely want to probably use this in a sweater of some kind or a shawl. So 2-ply would be really good. This one with the silk, I'm trying to figure it out because I know I've heard from many don't use silk in a sock. I don't know. So, and because of the amount, this is a nice larger one. This is 4.4 ounces. So I might not make a sock. If I was going to do a sock, I would do a 3-ply. And by 3-ply, I'll probably do a Navajo ply, which is a chain ply. And I do know that I've heard mixed reviews on using that for 3-ply for socks, but it's easier to do because you can do one bobbin. But this one, I might. This is a 3.9 ounce, which is about 4 ounces. It is 100% BFL. I'm not sure if I'll blend this maybe with something else. I mean, BFL should be pretty darn durable. I could probably do that as a 3-ply because BFL is usually a longer staple length. So it'd probably be okay by itself. And then I could knit some socks out of it. Yeah, that'd be really pretty socks. It feels like a shame to make socks out of it, though. I don't know about you guys. I have an extremely hard time using hand spun in socks. And I think it started because I made I did make socks out of hand spun. My very first time using hand spun in socks. And it was 100% alpaca, basically. It was almost 100% alpaca. I think it's alpaca. It's alpaca and something else in there. I think there's a little bit of like silk in there maybe, or like there's a little sparkly bits. And I have another one. I have one over here. And it's really pretty, but the next time I use it, I'm going to blend it with something that's a little more durable just because that pure 100% alpaca does not work well for socks. I also did it as a 2-ply, and that was my other problem. Because I kid you not, within wearing it one day, now I wore it a lot, but I think I wore it like maybe 1 or 2 days, and I actually wore a hole in it, and it wasn't a hole as in it like just ripped it or something. The fiber slid out. So like I had a pile of alpaca floof in my sock. So safe to say, not going to do that again. All right, so that was my fun treasures I got from Alpaca Fest. Definitely recommend it if you are in the area. I don't know if I would recommend like traveling in for it if you live far away. Unless you are obsessed with alpacas. If you're obsessed with alpacas and you think they're the cutest thing ever, which they are, and you want to see a bunch of them, because you can see a bunch of them, you can't really pet a lot of them. Some of them are friendly, but most of them are very skittish. So that's a tricky part, but you can see a lot of them. Then I'd recommend it. But otherwise, like if you're wanting to find a wide variety of fiber and things like that, I don't know if I'd necessarily recommend like making a big trip where you had to rent a hotel or like, get a hotel, like travel however many hours. I don't know if I'd recommend it, but if you are someone who lives in Michigan and it could be like a day trip or something, totally recommend Alpaca Fest. I loved it. It was really fun. And I know my mom, my sister, and I had a great time. You can get in and out of there pretty quick. We were there for just maybe 2.5 hours, and we saw everything we needed to see. I purchased what I wanted, and it wasn't overwhelming, which was really nice. And we went the that Saturday, so that's like the main day usually. Michigan Fiber Festival, different story. If you want a quieter day, I've never gone on Sunday, but if you go Friday before the weekend, it's quieter and you can see everything. You kind of take your time. You can look at everything, see what you want, and then you can go back and buy something if you have to have it. Otherwise, you can totally go back on Saturday and then buy something then. You just have to buy another ticket. But I will tell you this, secret to that. Get the weekend pass. So if you're going to go for only Friday and Saturday, but not Sunday, get the weekend pass. It's totally worth it. Because even though you don't go back on Sunday, it saves you money because if you pay every single day, you're going to pay $15. So it saves you $5 if you wanted to do that. But yeah, I think that's it for rattling stuff off at you guys. I'd love to hear what you guys are up to. Hopefully you can hear me well. Hopefully this worked. It looks like it's still recording, and it looks like my little microphone's still on. So I really hope you can. This is an experience, learning experience. Yeah, I think that's everything. I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're healthy, and I hope you're creating and making everything that you would like to make right now. And please do share in the comments below what you're up to. I hope you guys are getting outside to do some of your making. I wanted to spin outside yesterday and I did not get to do that, but hopefully today I can do some of my crafting outside. I love it when it gets this nice out. It's my absolute favorite thing to do. So this weekend, my goal is to get up early and start my morning outside and watch the sun come up. It's my absolute favorite thing to do in the warmer months. And it's just, it's so nice. So if you can do something like that, I definitely hope you are able to take advantage of it. So I look forward to chatting with you soon. Take care. Bye.